What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Burning Hammer, and in this video I will be ranking every single WWE title reign. But first, if you want to see me and Dylan talk about what Sami Zayn is going to be doing at WrestleMania, you can click the link up in the corner, or you can head over to whatever streaming platform you use for your podcast and listen to the most recent episode of the Burning Hammer podcast. So I'm going to be taking a few different things into account for this. I'm going to be taking in the number of different feuds that you have, how long they've been holding the title, that sort of thing. So without further ado, let's rank the first title. Also, the S tier is the best and the D tier is going to be the worst. And then it kind of just like works its way up through there in case you're not used to this S, A, B, C, D type of ranking system. All right, so the first title reign I'm going to rank is going to be Logan Paul's, and the United States Championship literally has not done anything. He's had one feud with Kevin Owens, and I think he's only had like 1 or 2 matches against him. He hasn't been showing up on TV too much, although he has been showing up more than he has in the past, but I just don't think he's really been doing much with the title. And when he first won it, he didn't show up for like a month. So I think that they need to get the title off of him. I think they're probably going to end up doing that at WrestleMania. And honestly, he never should have been United States champion to begin with. And his title reign has been pretty bad. In fact, it's probably the worst among the active title reigns. Now, I'm also putting the Kabuki Warriors and the Women's Tag Team Championships in this tier. Now, before you freak out, I'm only putting them in this tier because they kind of just recently won the titles and they haven't had them for that long. I think this could be a really fun title reign, but I also don't know how much I trust WWE to have like a solid reign for the women's tag titles. I know that Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they had a really fun run. I just don't know if we're going to get that again. Now, Asuka and Kairi Sane are extremely talented, and I think there's a lot of great stuff that they could do. I just don't know if WWE is necessarily going to do that. All right, so for the C tier, I'm going to put the men's tag titles, which is Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Now, I'm recording this prior to Elimination Chamber, so maybe they lost the titles at Elimination Chamber. Who knows? The title reign's been fine. I feel like they've defended them a lot, but I don't really recall any super good feuds we got for it. And one of my big pet peeves with WWE, at least with titles excluding their like main event titles, is you don't really have any wrestlers that go, I want that title. They always just have beef with whoever's holding the title. And so the titles kind of feel like an afterthought. Maybe that's something that they're going to work on since TKO owns them now. But who knows? I feel like we haven't got that many teams that are like, I want to be tag team champions. They just have beef with the Judgment Day. Title reign has been fine. They've held them for a decent amount of time. Again, I think they're potentially going to drop them at WrestleMania. If they don't drop them, I think they're going to debut new titles, and then they're going to have another set, which I think they're going to be defended in a ladder match at WrestleMania. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens with that. But again, Judgment Day and the Men's Tag Team Championships, I'm putting in the C tier. All right, so for the B tier, which is kind of middle of the road for this, I'm putting both the Women's WWE and the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, in this tier. Now, this is no fault of their own. I want to make that very clear. It's just the way they've been booking them over the past couple of months. Neither has really had a super good feud. It feels like they kind of get these random matches against random opponents, and they haven't had like a feud that goes 1, 2, 3 months. Again, it's kind of the same thing that I said before, where they just have beef with a wrestler and no one really goes, I want that title. Now, I think that Rhea, and I think both of these people, actually, their title reigns could get way better because I'm really excited for Io and Bayley. So I think sort of whenever Io loses it, I think it's going to be at WrestleMania. But once her and Bayley's feud is done, I think that she's probably going to move up in this. And the same thing with Rhea Ripley. I'm assuming Becky Lynch won the Women's Elimination Chamber. Regardless, whoever she faces at WrestleMania, I think that's going to be a big money feud, and I think that's also going to elevate her in terms of these rankings. And so I'm putting them both currently in the B tier, but I fully expect them to climb up in the rankings. All right, so then in the A tier, I have the Men's World Heavyweight Championship, and I have the Intercontinental Championship, which is Gunther and Seth Rollins. Seth Seth Rollins has been an absolute workhorse for the WWE over the past few months, ever since he won the title. Again, I think he's probably going to drop it at WrestleMania, but I wouldn't be surprised if he holds on to it for a little while longer. Gunther, obviously the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, over 600 days. Both of these guys would potentially be in the S tier if it wasn't for Roman Reigns. I feel like you just have to put Roman Reigns in a tier of his own, which Roman Reigns is obviously in the S tier. I mean, one of the greatest title runs and title reigns of all time, over 2,000 days and counting, although that's going to come to an end at WrestleMania. But if you think of his run as a whole, it's one of the best ever. It's definitely easily the best of my generation over the past 2 decades. And honestly, I think it's something that we're taking for granted. I think once this is done, we're then going to realize what we had, but I think we should realize what's happening currently in present time with Roman Reigns and this historic and legendary run. Plus, once he drops the title, I think we're going to get a really good run with him and The Rock and the rest of the bloodline following that. So I'm very excited to see what Roman Reigns does following him losing the title. This has been an historic run for him, and it's truly hard to put into words just how incredible he's been over the past 3 years. So that's going to wrap up the video. You let me know in the comments down below who's had the best title reign in WWE to this day, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Who knows, maybe we hit that by the time you're watching this, but make sure to absolutely smash the subscribe button so you never miss an upload. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.